Thank you, President Horvath and the other esteemed officials of the University of Oxford, distinguished members of the Oxford Union, other dignitaries in attendance, and ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am the only 8th Division World Boxing Champion in history, having won 11 major world titles, ranging from flyweight, which has an 8-stone limit, to super welterweight, which has an 11-stone limit. My tailor has been kept very busy throughout my career, adjusting the waistband of my trunks. I have fought some of the best fighters in history, and yet I have to admit, as I stand before you, I am intimidated when I think of the kind of main event headliners who face you over the years. Sir Winston Churchill, American President Reagan, Nixon and Carter, Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama, and Sir Elton John. And here am I, Emmanuel the Pidran Pacquiao, standing before you armed with just the equivalent of a sixth form education. And in this, guys, is respect for what your group and your university represent, and a pretty fair left hook. If this give and take today were a tale of the tape, I would be a respectful underdog. But be careful, I'm not that easy to floor. When I received your gracious invitation, I asked myself, what could I talk about that could possibly interest you? What could Manny Pacquiao say that would be of any impact, much more utility to the men and women who enjoy the highest standards of instruction at Oxford? The answer came fast. I know what I should speak about, something very few among you can claim to know about: my education, certainly non-traditional, non-formal, largely unstructured. I will call it my education in the Open University of Life. It is a matter of record that I only had traditional formal schooling until secondary school, grade 12. It was only recently that I reached the university level through the alternative education program. We were dirt poor. I had to work since the age of 7 to help my mother feed my 3 siblings and me. Many days, I was lucky to have one full meal. On days when we had no food, I would drink lots of water just to fill my stomach. And I remember when we were young, my younger brother crying, asking for food to my mother, and my mother told us, just drink a lot of water to survive, and tomorrow maybe we'll have food. So that's the experience that I experienced when we were young. But my mind and spirit were never hungry. I read anything I could get my hands on. I even read the newspaper that my lunch or dinner came wrapped in. I read signs everywhere, even in moving vehicles. I learned measurements and weights by constantly reading the rates and tariffs at the warehouses where I worked as a stevedore, a docker in our parlance. At night, when I could not sleep because of the cold, I would read the labels of the carton boxes that serve as my bed on the street pavement. The movements of the clouds, the tint of the horizon, and the clarity of the stars taught me when morning was about to come. And for me, morning did come, warm, bright, and simply amazing. A lesson in what can be achieved if you have determination, if you ignore the odds against you, and as you are taught here at this magnificent institution, never ever quit. Think of David and Goliath, and look at me. I'm not very big, and I never had 5 smooth stones to throw at any obstacle. But determination is a power tool. I won a lot of fights. Since 2016, I have been a sitting member of the Philippine Senate, having received the direct vote of over 16 million Filipinos. As such, I participate in debates that result in the passage of legislation which determine the course of our country's history and indirectly the world's. I don't fault anyone who views me as singularly ill-equipped for this role. Instead, I ask, is there anyone more knowledgeable than this humble civil servant about the hardships incident to the way of life of the majority of our people? Who among my colleagues has faced poverty face-to-face from birth? Whose life's work has it been to battle illiteracy? In crafting effective laws, there is no better guide than the pulse of the masses. I may not have financial acuity. I may not be historically fluent. I may not even be socially adept, but I am philosophically rooted in my personal adversities, which morally bind me to the general struggle of our people. I am a fighter, and I will always be a fighter, not just because it is my profession. I was a fighter long before I first set foot in a boxing ring. All my life I have been fought to live. Every single day in my youth, I fought for survival. Now, I do it and get paid for it. Then, I was lucky to get a piece of bread for it. But how are my struggles of any value to the Filipinos? It cannot feed or clothe all of them. No matter how much I give financially, hundreds of thousands more remain wanting. In 2013, in the aftermath of Category 5 Super Typhoon Haiyan, locally remembered as Yolanda, the deadliest typhoon to devastate my country, leaving a record of more than 10,000 dead, I went to Tacloban and visited a nightmare. The place was a virtual ghost town. Everyone had lost someone from their family. Others, their entire family. No property was spared. There were bodies everywhere. There was no food, no water, no electricity. Each face I looked into bore the same expression: defeat. Not a single person there thought that they could ever recover from that tragedy. I thought to myself, I can give millions, as have many other donors from all over the world, but no amount of money can give these people hope. I too fought against despair. But then I had an idea. We set up a makeshift basketball court and I started shooting some hoops. Then one boy picked up the ball after one of my shots and tried a shot. Soon there were enough of us to have 5-on-5 match, and we did. The smiles, the laughter, the hopes of joy of those boys during the game are memories forever etched in my heart. To have lost everything overnight, including parents, siblings, friends, but to still have the ability to rise above one's person loss and reach out to your fellow man, even just in play, to find joy together. There, at that point, in those victims' eyes, I found hope. Those boys who had nothing left gave me hope. By the way, I would like to thank the United Kingdom for donating more than 60 million pound for the typhoon victims. Thank you very much to all your support and the donation. 4 years later, I would see the same physical and societal devastation in Marawi. Our beautiful city of the south was reduced to ruins by civil strife. Death and destruction broke the hearts and backs of its residents, but not their spirit. 1 year later, Marawi is now under rehabilitation. This and other experiences like this motivated me to answer the call of public service. I believe in all humility that my life is just a snapshot. It is a glorified blow-up of what millions Filipinos live through on a day-to-day basis. The hardships, the challenges, the back-breaking, hope-extinguishing, despair. Yet, through the ashes of destruction, the Filipino always manages to rise up and fight another day. I believe that I was born for a purpose and destined to serve as an inspiration for the average Filipino in the rest of the world, to fight, to rise above adversity, to conquer and defy, and to embrace life in all its difficulties. Manny Pacquiao is the best fairy tale every Filipino could tell and retell to all generations yet to come. Manny Pacquiao's story is incredible but true. Miracles do happen, dreams do come true. Being poor does not mean one must die poor. Hard work and persistence will set you free from the shackles of poverty, but it is faith that will take you to the very top. And that is Manny Pacquiao's story. So I ask you, all of you, to never lose faith in what you can do as human being. Believe in the loyalty of the family and believe in the Almighty God. It is not easy to believe in the power of one, but I ask you to look around you, count the faces, do the multiplication, and suddenly we are a power of 50 or 100 or 1,000. You, with your education, determination, and faith, you can change the world. Thank you.
Mr. Pacquiao, thank you very much for that moving and
Thank you.
inspiring speech. If we can just start off with some questions from me and then we'll move to the audience.
Yeah, sure.
So starting with your boxing career, you've said before that sometimes you deliberately take punches from your opponent, for instance, with Miguel Cotto. Can you tell us why you do that? Why you deliberately let them take punches?
With the Miguel Cotto fight?
Yes.
That fight, I remember that Miguel Cotto is a very tough opponent, and he's a strong fighter. He's heavy-handed boxer, and he's different than other fighters that I faced before. And I suffered injury in my ear on that fight. That's the first time that I injured like that injury that I had when we had a fight. So that's why getting hard fight. I got a hard fight of that Miguel Cotto, and I did my best, work hard.
So your fight with Floyd Mayweather in 2015 went down as one of the greatest in boxing history. You've talked about a rematch. Is that going to happen, and do you think you'll beat him this time?
Well, he's coming back. I heard he's going to fight December, last week of December in Japan, and I'm still in boxing, so I still believe that by next year there's a big possibility that we're gonna do it again.
We can move into your career in politics. Do you think your experience as a child living in poverty is what drove you to want to become a politician and a public servant?
I just want to tell you the story about why I became a politician. Before, I really hate politicians. That's true. But before I became a politician, every time I had a fight, most of my purse, my income in boxing, almost 50% of that I giving back to the Filipino, to the poor people, giving food and money to them, the family, and giving them house and lot free. I always buy land and build a house and giving free to the people who are less fortunate in life, and that's my heart before I became a politician. And then there's an interview that asked me about why you don't enter politics, and I told them, what? I hate politics. I hate them. For the politician, they always promise and they don't do anything to the poor. And then no, you can very, you can do a lot when you are there, when you have, when you serve people, because we know your heart is honest and you can serve the people well because you have a good heart for the people. And I realized, when things come, I realized that okay, not all the time that my own money I will expend on my own money to them. I cannot help them all because there's a lot, and my money is limited from my income in boxing. So I entered politics, and that the beginning become a politician. And it's, for me, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not hard too. I can say it's not easy because even in the midnight, somebody will knock your door and asking for help and like that. Different than before, when you're not a politician. When you sleep, you wake up in the morning good. You don't need to think about the what you're gonna do about the people, the government. But this time, before I sleep, I have to think about what I'm gonna do for the people, and when I woke up in the morning, what I'm gonna do for the people, and that's my dream, of course. Sometimes I don't have time to my family because of my busy schedule in politics, but I told my wife, yeah, you have to understand me because that's our heart to help them. So
touching on some of the challenges of politics, during your run for the Senate in 2016, you expressed some disapproval for people that enter into same-sex marriages. Your comments could be perceived as hurtful by people around the world and in your own country. How do you resolve the tensions with your belief in God and the Bible and your political career?
Okay, that's I think it's out of context. Actually, if you review the whole interview that asked me, in fact, if you know this, in my I love them. I love gay people. Even the son of my brother gay. Almost of my workers is gay. My campaigner is most of them is gay. That's true. I mean that's true because I believe I believe them. They work hard. If they campaign, they work hard, and they doing a medical mission. They help a lot, work hard, and the context. They get the context of the interview and use it against me. But I love them. I do not persecute them. I love them, and I just want to help them. I mean,
do you think that speaking up against same-sex marriages in the position you're in could be seen as a form of persecution, perhaps, or?
Of course, the position of the government in the Philippines, we disagree. We don't want same-sex marriage passed in our country. Most of us disagree with that. But we don't persecute them. We love them. We love gay people, and actually they're real. They're if your friend is gay, you know that they're loyal to you. They're real friend, not like other people as a friend when you face them, but at back stabbing you at the back. But these people are most of them. In fact, I have a lot of friends gay. Even my relatives.
So in the Philippines, you have to be 40 to run for president. I believe you're now 39. Do you have any presidential ambitions? Have you thought about the election in 2022?
I don't have that in my mind right now, but a lot of people saying that next for I'm the one next for the president, but I'm not thinking about that because being a senator is it's a big responsibility, and I have to give time also to my family, especially my wife, asking for my time, more time for them. That's the thing. I mean, I don't have that. I don't have that in my mind right now to become a president of the Republic of the Philippines.
But maybe one day.
For more than three years more.
Finally, I just wanted to ask your opinion on political dynasties playing a prominent role in politics in the Philippines. Do you think that a family that is active in politics over many generations constitutes a political dynasty? And do you think that's problematic, or?
Political dynasty, I don't believe that, because the people, unless you appoint someone to become a leader, and then that's, you can say a political dynasty, but we have election, and the people are free to choose who they're going to be elected. I mean, we have a freedom to run as a politics and as a politician.
Okay. Should we move to some questions from the audience?
Yeah, you can ask a question.
Would you like to just raise your hand if you'd like to ask Mr. Pacquiao a question?
Yeah.
Can we go to the hand in the second row in the black coat? Just wait for the microphone to get to you.
Thank you very much for your speech. What is your opinion on boxers having professional fights against fighters from other disciplines?
Okay. All I can say is, if you're a MMA fighter, it's different to boxing. So boxing is different also to MMA. If a boxer fight to MMA, I think it's disadvantage for a boxer. It's advantage for an MMA fighter. But if the MMA fighter fight in a boxing match, disadvantage for a MMA because he's fighting in. It's like a tiger and fighting against a shark.
Does that answer your question? Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? A tiger fighting a shark. If the fight is in the ocean, of course, the shark will with the tiger.
So if you had a fight with Conor McGregor, so if you had a boxing match with Conor McGregor, do you think that would be fair on him?
Fighting with him in boxing ring,
boxing match, yeah.
In boxing match, I'm gonna be advantage.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
We have another question. The hand in the fourth row along.
Thank you. I like this question.
Senator Pacquiao, thank you for your moving remarks. They were great. You're on the record as supporting your president's use of extrajudicial killings for drug offenders. Conservative estimates have at least 3,000 people that have been killed since the initiative started. You mentioned struggling for your people. How do extrajudicial killings help the people you're struggling for? And is there a successful historical approach you're modeling the drug policy after?
Okay, that's a good question. Very good question. First First of all, I don't like extrajudicial killing. I don't like that. Second, there's no extrajudicial killing in the Philippines. It just they came out from the opposition mind that to ruin to the administration, the president. In fact, the president told them that we don't want extrajudicial killing. We don't want a due process. But if the policeman is in danger, don't put your life in a danger situation. But the president told them, give them a chance to change their life, to live a new life like that, and telling them to surrender, stop using illegal drugs, stop selling drugs everywhere, and then. But I think because of this is what I can say. Because of poverty, I think they don't want to stop, and then some of them are carrying gun and then want to fight the armed forces. So the policemen, especially. Of course, if the drug poser has a gun and then the policeman trying to stop them and pointing to the policeman is obligated to shoot them. But they're giving them a chance. In fact, the president is not tolerating them. If you know, in the Philippines, there's almost 1,000 policemen are discharged of the service. There's a general, colonel, different ranks discharged of the service because of that abuses power. That what they're doing about this fight against illegal drugs. So unfair to the administration. I am a senator of the Republic of the Philippines. Unfair to the administration that the news is only one-sided. But the thing is, the reality is it's fair. If you look at the record of the policeman who was discharged from the service, is almost 1,000 policemen, including their general, there's colonels, most of them. But actually, I cannot say we don't have extrajudicial killing in the Philippines. There's a killing that is still under an investigation. Even the policemen are involved in that incident, and the government will not tolerating them. They are still under investigation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I go for the hand on the front row?
Hi, Manny. I just wanted to start by saying that you're such an inspiration to Christians like myself around the world, that a man like you is such an outspoken proponent for his faith. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And it can't be easy. And I just wanted to also say, your children, would you want them to be fighters, and do any of them themselves want to be fighters? And if you do want them, why? And if you don't, why not?
Oh. I have, of course, my children, they want to box. They want to become a fighter. But I don't want them to become a boxer or MMA fighter. My two boys, they're 18 and 17. They want to fight in MMA or boxing, to be a boxer, but I don't want them to be a boxer because boxing is not that easy. In fact, because, you know, I discourage them because I've been there. I feel what's hard work, what is the difficulties being a fighter. You know that. I think some of you know that about become a fighter, become an athlete, how you discipline and work hard in training. And I want them to, in fact, I want them to study in this university.
We'd be happy to have them. We'd be very happy to have them.
Can we go to the hand in the second row? Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Joel. I'm from Uganda. I'm doing the BCL at Jesus College. My question is with regards to your boxing career. Which is your most memorable title-winning fight? And why? Why do you think, that, from the answer that you'll give, why do you pick that particular one? Thank you.
My memorable title-winning fight, I think I cannot say one, but more than one, including your boy, Ricky Hatton. You can fight in Oscar de la Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Margarito. There's a lot. I consider as a difficult fight and memorable fight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give the hand in the second row.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to the Oxford Union and speaking to all of us. So now Duterte has been in power for 2 years of the 6 afforded to him by the Constitution. Kind of piggybacking off the former question that was made, human rights abuse, execution of journalists and obstruction of due process. Do you think your country, from a political perspective, is on the right track? And if not, how do you think we can, or you as an acting senator and the rest of your government, what do you think you can do to get it on the right track?
Even our president is condemning those who killed, the journalists. We experienced that a lot of journalists had killed in one incident, the massacre, and my job is to legislate. To make laws in the age of legislation, to help the government and to help our president. Also, our president is, I just want to tell you this: the president now in the Philippines is a close friend of mine. Before he became a president, before he was a mayor, he is my friend before, and I live in his town in Davao. I can say he's a nice person. His heart is for the people. He's like I can say he's I cannot say activist. I cannot say that, but he's more on his heart is more on the people, the benefits of the poor people. He wants to help the people, and that's his heart. Even now, he became a president. His priority is for the people, and he don't want to. He don't like the people, like these people, like drugs or abusive people or arrogant people. He don't like that. He want a fair, and in fact, he just want the rich people to help the poor people. That's what his heart want, and we totally condemn those. Killings, especially the journalists. We don't want killings in our country. We condemn that, and our government is investigating of that. Although we're not like other countries that in technology we're behind, so it's a slow process to investigate. We don't want to point someone right away. We have to make pass the due process. Talking about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go to the hand in the back row?
Hello, Senator Pacquiao. So I had a question in regard to obviously your lived experience and the school of life that you've gone through has taught you so much, and I think it's an honor for all of us to be in your presence as someone with the kind of energy, the kind of will, the strength of the will that you have, and in that regard, obviously to accomplish the things you have, it takes a lot of passion and a lot of strength. And I was curious, though, in regard to things like consistency, what motivates you in terms of not giving up, in terms of staying consistent to what helps you achieve such great heights in your career as a boxer and as a politician?
Um, in my boxing career, motivate me. It's my family. Of course, boxing is my passion, and I grew up in boxing, and that's my. I think boxing is one of my favorite habit in life. Boxing, so, and being a public servant, I'm motivated because every time I go around in the Philippines, I can see poor people that need my help, need help, especially us as a public servant.
Thank you.
you.
Can we go to the hand at the back in
At
the
the back.
blue jumper?
Touching on some of the things you spoke about earlier on, your family motivating you, I'm interested when you look at boxers and the management side of things, and you also referenced money that you've been able to earn, and obviously you can't give it all to the Philippines and you've gone into politics now. What are the parts from your career in dealing with management, all the sort of stuff that you don't hear about necessarily that's in the ring, that's out of the ring, that we know about with other boxers? What, with those things, have you learnt from and you're going to apply to your political career from the management side?
Okay, managing time, just time management, and in boxing, I manage my discipline myself and manage my time. In politics, I can use that some of my experience in boxing to use in politics, especially the in terms of keep on fighting, especially those illegal activities, and also keep on pushing the whatever I want that the poor people will benefit in politics. And also in politics, it's big different than compared to boxing. You know,
I just mean the management side. Like, you know, the management side, things go on. Maybe you weren't worried about it. Maybe your family, you've already referenced them. Your family are important and they help you with that side of things. But I was just interested from that side.
yes, family.
Yeah. So, yeah. Next question. Can we go to the member right at the back in the blue jumper on the left?
Hi, my name's Tom. I'm a big fan of your career, and I just wonder, how much longer do you think you will continue boxing for?
Oh, it's not that long. I think a couple more fights and then that's it.
Do you think you'll ever box in Britain? Maybe against Amir Khan? You're just calling your name out.
That's also possible, but we'll see. It depends of the negotiation and about the, how we discuss business. We discuss about the fight. But as long as he's still in boxing and I'm still in boxing, there's a possibility.
I think it'll be a good fight for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Can we go to the member right at the back in the blue jumper, waving the hand? Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Chantal, and I used to be a member of the kickboxing team here at Oxford, and I'm also a very strong Christian. So I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what is the correlation between faith and sport?
Thank you, Chantal. Being a Christian is different to boxing. Christian is being a Christian is you're obeying and following God, following Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and that's the most important thing in life, because I believe there is no other way of salvation, only through Jesus Christ. And also, being a boxer, a fighter, that's my profession, and And I think it helps when you have faith to God and you have confidence that God is always watching you, whatever you do, as long as it's honest and fair. Not, I mean, you work hard, and you know, you have hope when you have God in your life, and you have peace of mind. That's the most important thing. And you're excited every morning, every day in your life. You're excited to train, to work hard. Especially if you're a boxer, you're excited to train every day. Thank you, Chantel.
I actually have a quick question about your faith. So you often rely heavily on the Bible in challenging actions of legislators. Do you think that the reference to the Bible in such matters is appropriate in a country whose constitution specifically espouses a separate church and a state?
Teaching in the Bible is, I think, if you see the constitution, even in the other country, most of the constitution is based on the Bible, what the Bible says. I think it's connected to the Bible, but religion is different, separate from the government.
And do you think that's how it should be? Do you think that religion should be separate to the government?
Religion should be, that's what the Constitution says, separate to the government. But, you know, most of the laws that in our country is, if you read the Bible, it's based in the Bible.
It's a guiding principle. Basically.
Yeah, God's principle, basically.
Okay, I think we have time for 2 more questions. Can we go to the hand with the yellow sleeves in the second row?
Hi. I wanted to ask what are the most important aspects of boxing training? Is it technique? Is it weights? Is it fitness? And what advice do you have for members of Oxford University's boxing team to be the best they possibly can be?
Okay, my advice to the boxers, this is my advice. Keep thinking positive. Never think negative, because when you think negative, that's it will lose your focus to reach your goal or dream to achieve. Work hard, discipline yourself, love one another. I mean, be nice to others. What I'm talking about, be nice to others. Be kind, be a good man, and that's most important thing is believe God and work hard, discipline yourself. That's the most important thing. And this is my mind. This is my mind when I started boxing until now. I never think negative. I always think positive. Okay. I never think bad things about my friends or about anybody. I always think positive, meaning positive that this guy is good, this guy is kind, this guy is nice, this person is nice, and I always think positive that this is my dream, and I can achieve this dream because I work hard, I discipline myself. That's the beauty of thinking positive. So that's good. That's the reality. That's my advice. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question. Could we go to the lady on the front row?
Hi, thank you so much for the speech, and I'm also one member of the Oxford University Boxing Club, and I wanted to ask, what's the women's boxing scene like in your country? Because we are having our very first all-female boxing match coming up on November 17th, and I wonder, like, how could we possibly do better to encourage more girls, especially from different nations and from different ethnic backgrounds, to get involved in our sports?
Oh,
Thank you.
Women boxing is No, also in the Philippines, we have a women boxing. We support, I build boxing gyms in the Philippines and helping the woman boxing. I think it's a few in the world, not too many people knows that there's a good woman fighter in boxing. So it's a good thing that I heard that there's a lot of women boxer here in UK, and I'm supporting you 100%. But especially this fight again, despite this coming fight on November 17. Where is that? Where is that promotion?
It's here.
If Sports Centre.
It's here. Oh.
Yeah, you should come, please.
I wish I could come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and answering our questions. Can everyone join me in thanking Senator Manny Pacquiao?